Hey, eBay sellers, it's Suzanne A. Wells, and I'm coming to you from my actual home in Atlanta, not a green screen or a fake background. So, this is the real me. Welcome to my home. And the title of this video is Reasons Your eBay Item Has Not Sold Yet. And I want to emphasize the yet because everything eventually sells. And I think there is some bad information out there about how quickly an item should sell, how many items you should be selling a day. And I just want to give you some different ways to think about this because when we get focused on things we can't control, it's very self-defeating and it doesn't help you move forward. We see a lot of posts on social media about slow sales, why aren't my things selling, what am I doing wrong, or maybe blaming eBay for pushing you down in search for some reason. All of these things that everyone's trying to figure out about how you can get your item to sell faster. And faster isn't always the best answer. So I want to challenge you to think about slow sales, no sales, dry spells in a different way, because there are a lot of things going on behind the scenes that are happening that you just can't see, and you're not thinking about that. All you're thinking about is what's not happening. And that is a very bad place to be mentally and energetically. You want to focus on moving forward and doing what you can control. So first of all, are you imposing some kind of arbitrary rule on your eBay business about things need to sell within a certain number of days or weeks or whatever the time period is? When eBay started way back in '96, they started with 7-day auctions, and people figured their items should sell within 7 days because that was the time period. You cannot create a timeline for when your sales are going to happen because it's about when the buyer is ready to buy it, not that you're ready to sell it. So, to show you some of the different reasons that buyers may purchase things at a specific time, I put this question on my Facebook group the other day and got an overwhelming response from sellers who are also buyers on eBay about why they purchase particular items at a specific time. And I noticed several recurring themes. I think this will help you change your mindset when you're experiencing slow sales, or you're not satisfied with what you're seeing, or you're comparing yourself to other people, because you can go back to these recurring themes and remind yourself the item just hasn't sold yet. It doesn't mean it's never going to. It just hasn't sold yet. Remember that human behavior is not random. There's always some kind of precipitating event that causes people to behave in a certain way. Maybe it's out of habit, but usually when you do something, when you take an action, it's because it's a reaction to something else. So let's look at some of the reasons that people bought certain items at specific times so I can help you understand this point.
Here's the post I put on my Facebook group to gather this information, and as of about a day and a half later, this post has 460 comments. So I got a lot of great participation. Thank you to everyone who answered and provided this data. Unfortunately, I cannot include all of the answers in this video, or it would be like 5 hours long. So feel free to go to the group and read the answers because it's very interesting to see why consumers are buying our items at a particular time, what events they're waiting for before they make that purchase. So here's the post. I'm working on a video for my YouTube channel and wanted some input from real people rather than making assumptions. The question is, what was the last item you bought on eBay and why did you buy it at that time? Example, The last item I bought was a pair of pillow covers because I'm changing my color scheme in my living room and the old ones don't match. Rather than new pillows, I bought inexpensive, pretty new covers. So, what I was trying to get at here was not that eBay is the cheapest place to get stuff, but what was the event that happened that nudged you into making a purchase? Because a lot of times that's why people buy things. They move, they need new stuff for their house, there's a birthday coming up, whatever happens. So let's look at these real answers, and I have them categorized into kind of themed answers. So the first thing I saw a lot of was consumable item has run out, consumer needs to replenish. Patricia said she bought some roll-on scented oils. I was almost out of my previous purchase. Janine bought some dog treats. And feel free to pause the video and read these answers. I'm not going to read all of them all the way through because that again would make for a very long video. Lori bought a battery for a child's riding vehicle. That's a consumable item. It needs to be replenished because they go dead. Thad and Rachel, the last thing I bought was an 11-pound case of fresh dates from California. I live in Georgia and the only sweeteners I can have are honey and dates, so I eat a lot of dates. Gail also bought a grocery item, a bottle of Just Egg, because it's not available at stores in my area and is priced ridiculously high everywhere else online. Sarah said they bought some razor refills because the ones my husband uses are cheaper on eBay. We bought now because he was almost out. So, the takeaway from this first theme is the person who's going to buy the item hasn't run out yet. So, if you're selling anything that's consumable, whether it's just a one-time thing for you, like maybe you found some cologne or perfume at an estate sale, or you sell something over and over again that you have a supply of, it's just a matter of changing your thought pattern. Instead of saying, why is no one buying this? You want to think, oh, okay, the person who needs this hasn't run out yet, so they're going to be buying it real soon. Try to think that way. The second theme was birthday gifts. People have birthdays 365 days a year. There weren't a whole lot of comments about birthdays because today is December 4th and we're kind of focused on Christmas, and I feel bad for people with December birthdays because they kind of get overshadowed. But we did have a couple of comments. Janessa bought a refurbished tablet for her son's 4th birthday because I didn't feel like paying full price for a new one right before Christmas. And Jen bought a board game for her mom's birthday, which is December 10th. And she said, I like to help other eBay sellers when I can. I do the same thing. I always look on eBay first to try to support that community. So, the takeaway from the birthday theme is the birthday that the item will be given as a gift for hasn't happened yet. And you'd be shocked at what people give as birthday gifts. It doesn't have to be something new in the package. People give used items as gifts all the time. So when you find something and you think, oh, someone's just going to love this, this is going to be perfect for a butterfly enthusiast or a teacher, or you have an idea of who it could be for, it just isn't time yet. That birthday hasn't happened. Okay, the next theme was gifts for any reason. Some people just like to buy gifts for others. And I go back to this book by Gary Chapman, The 5 Love Languages. This is a great book for anybody to read, whether you're in a relationship or not. It just helps you understand how people in your life like to be loved. There's different ways that we can show love, and we tend to show love the way we like to receive it. So, one of those ways is gifts. Some people love to give gifts because they like receiving them, and that's how they show people they love them. So, I've known people like this that just like to buy little gifts for people. So, that's who we're targeting here with the gift for any reason. And so we had a few examples of that. Brenda bought a set of walkie talkies for my autistic son. He was obsessing. They were priced well with free shipping. Joanna is creating an I Love Lucy gift basket. So I just bought a Funko Pop $10 FS and book for $3 both. I Love Lucy gift basket also has the chocolates, set of DVDs, and Vegemite. So it would be a fun gift box for someone. That does sound fun. And then Joy said that she bought some shirts for her mom who's in a nursing home and just needed some clothing. Sue bought a plush cat for my 94-year-old mother, paid more, and bought from a seller that had better pictures and more of them. So that's a great tip. She picked a seller, even though it cost more money, she picked the item that was presented the best. And then Brandy said, I bought bath and body lotions for my daughter. It was a good deal, 3 full-size lotions. So gifts for no reason or any reason. So think to yourself, this is a great gift item. Why is nobody buying this? Change that to, oh, the impulse or reason to give this gift hasn't happened yet. It's going to be perfect for someone. It hasn't happened. Whatever it is that's going to influence them to buy this gift hasn't happened yet. And then, of course, we have Christmas and Hanukkah gifts. And there were a few comments about that. Kelly Shaw bought a new in-box set of Justice League figures for a Christmas gift. I bought it at that time because it was the only one listed. It's hard to find these particular guys, and it's going to be a gift. Debbie said she bought a t-shirt for her daughter for Christmas because it was on her daughter's list. Erica said she bought a Donald Davis storytelling CD about Christmas. I bought it on eBay because the prices of his CDs are very high, and we always add a new story or special Christmas music to our family collection every year. And so I asked her if it was a time-sensitive purchase, if she would have purchased it any other time during the year, and she said no. So that was interesting. But do remember that Christmas does sell all year if you have it listed. Courtney bought some new Nikes for her husband's Christmas gift, and before that it was her daughter's first Halloween costume. So another holiday that a lot of buying occurs around. Terry said she is buying vintage china bowls for from my pastor's college. They actually used to use china instead of disposables as Christmas gifts. So she's buying something vintage as a gift. Doesn't have to be brand new. It doesn't have to be contemporary. People give used and vintage items as gifts all the time. Lane said, I just bought some Mario Kart collector's pins for my boyfriend for Christmas. And then Lisha said, this morning I ordered a toy piano for my granddaughter for Christmas. I bought it today to ensure it arrived before we drive to see her at Christmas. So bottom line on that theme is the holiday hasn't happened yet. People are buying. And guess what? After Christmas, they're going to start buying for next year. It starts really the day of Christmas is even a great day to sell on eBay. So don't feel like, after the 20th, nothing's going to sell because the end of December and January is still busy. Okay, the fifth reason I saw was something broke, was lost, or wore out and is being replaced. Sharon said the last thing I bought, 2 pink lids for a 4-cup Pyrex bowl because one of mine has been cracked for months and it got worse and I got tired of it. So replacing lids. Lindsay said replacing a broken ornament from 2017. It was meaningful for my mom who gave it to my son as his first ornament. So sentimental item being replaced, and that happens a lot. Think of stuffed animals, plush, loveys, little kids that lose them, and those parents go online to buy them. So people who sell those types of items, the plush and loveys. No, you just have to wait. You have to wait for that kid to lose that thing that he's then going to just have a meltdown about, and the parent will go on eBay and buy it. So it will happen. And then Lynette said a pair of sneakers for my son because he needed them and I refused to go to the mall and pay retail. Megan said she bought a charger for an old Dell computer her kids had for a while, and I asked her if the original one died, if that is what prompted this purchase, and she said they just couldn't find the original cord. So it'll probably show up later and then she'll sell one of those. Berlinda said she bought a clothes dryer belt. Hers broke from washing and drying a bunch of thrift store clothes to resell. So the takeaway on that theme is the item that you have the replacement for has not been lost or broken yet. Number 6, someone needs an item for travel, a trip, or vacation. Kim said she bought a Singer featherweight sewing machine for $250. Our church is buying a few to send with one of our members on a mission trip to Peru to help establish a sewing cottage industry. That's a great purchase. What a great idea. Tammy said scuba diving mask for Thanksgiving week Carnival cruise. Unfortunately, the mask didn't arrive in time because it wasn't shipped until almost 2 weeks after it was purchased. But she tried at least. And then Marcia said she bought herself a pair of hardly worn Sorel high boots to wear in the snow when I go visit my daughter. I had the RN number plugged in to be alerted when the exact pair I wanted popped up for sale. They are the exact pair she has from 5 to 6 years ago and not made anymore. I started looking in January and they finally showed up at the end of October. So Marcia said they're going to see them for Christmas and I don't want to freeze my patootie off this year. I don't need them for where I live on the coast of California. So great lesson here that as a buyer she was waiting for something. So as sellers, we're waiting for those sales, but sometimes as a buyer, you're waiting for something to show up so that you can buy it. So the takeaway on this theme is the travel hasn't been planned yet, or the reason for the unexpected trip hasn't happened yet, or the person just hasn't gotten organized yet and bought what they need to go on this trip. So they're coming. If you list it, they will come. Number 7, someone needs an item for a specific or special event. And I see this all the time. And this is why I sell long black formal looking skirts that are either velvet or satin or silk or sequin, something fancy, because at one point along the way somebody told me that they were a concert pianist and they wear formal clothes to their concerts and they're always buying stuff to wear, especially around the holidays when you've got these Christmas choirs and all the special events that churches do and performances or the symphony or any of that kind of thing where you have to wear black. Sometimes the women, it's just a black dress, the men are in a tux, and I've had people tell me, oh, thanks, this is perfect. I'm singing in the choir and I need this, or whatever it is. And they go to eBay just to buy the piece that they need for the outfit, or like in this girl's case here, the whole dress. So Kat says, I bought a vintage pearl necklace to wear for my wedding. And I asked her when her wedding was, and she said it's in June of 2020. So she's already 6 months ahead buying things for this special event, which is her wedding. Jennifer said she bought a long wool coat. I have a formal Christmas event and I needed a dress coat. So there you go. That's her special event. And then Megan said, as it's the Christmas season, mostly gifts for family and friends, a pair of men's wool socks, comic books, and red heels for me. And I asked her if the shoes were for a specific event or just because. and she said, I needed a pair of red heels that could be used for special events and dressing up casual outfits. I ended up buying some retro style heels that can be used for both. So the takeaway here is whatever this special event is that the person is going to wear the item or use this item for hasn't happened yet. Maybe it hasn't been planned yet, or the person just hasn't been invited yet. You ever had that happen? You get invited to a wedding, I have nothing to wear. And so you go on eBay and look for something, or whatever the event might be, especially with clothing. People will buy what they need on eBay. It's just easier. Okay, number 8, someone needs an item for school or work. Anna said, I bought a book because it was a great deal and my son needed it for school. I actually buy all my used books from eBay. So think high school kids when it's time to, everybody reads the same book and they do a book report. They're all going to need that book. And these kids go online to buy stuff. Nobody goes to the bookstore anymore. At least my kids never did. And they've been out of high school now. My youngest one has been out for 5 years. Actually, he graduates from college in 2 weeks, so we're very excited about that. So, when everybody's reading the same book, they've got to each buy a copy. Okay, and then Andrea said the last item I bought was a set of children's board games. I'm a speech language pathologist and I use them while doing therapy with children. And I venture to say a lot of teachers probably buy their supplies on eBay, and, as needed throughout the year, or if something special comes up, it's just easier to buy online. And then Melissa said, I bought a pair of Dansko clogs for my daughter. Many girls at her school wear them with their uniforms, and there's no way we could afford them new. They were in fabulous condition. They didn't even look worn. They were a quarter of the cost of new ones. And I asked her, why now? Did she outgrow the other shoes? Did they look too worn? And Melissa said that it was back at the beginning of the school year and she just wanted to look like everybody else. So a back to school purchase. So the takeaway for number 8 is the person doesn't know they need that thing yet, if replacing the original thing has not worn out yet. So you find a nice backpack or kids' clothes, shoes, whatever it is, eventually somebody's going to need it. And then another theme was resellers buying inventory to resell, and not just in quantity. Carrie said she bought a stack of antique postcards because I resell vintage and antique postcards. Sherry bought some batteries for her inventory that requires them. Janine bought a lot of kitchen items cheap and then pieced them out and resold. Lisa bought a coat on auction to resell as a buy it now. So these people are flipping stuff from eBay right back on eBay. Dawn said the last thing I bought was a vintage nightgown to resell. And Cheryl bought a brooch because the seller had it poorly described and listed it at $2.50 with free shipping. I bought it to resell. So the takeaway on that theme is maybe someone hasn't bought your item yet because if it's a reseller, they don't need it yet, or they haven't decided to sell that product or even look for it yet. And I'm perfectly fine if people buy my stuff and resell it because I get it cheap. I list it, I get my cut, and then it moves on to somebody else. So I'm quite sure people have done that when I've sent best offers or accepted offers that on something I've had for a really long time. So don't worry about that. You're still making money and you're moving that inventory along. You're getting a sale. That's good for your store overall, and hopefully you'll get a feedback. Okay, the next theme was buying a part, accessory, or a piece to complete a set, repair something, to keep or resell. Angela said, we bought a remote to an electronic thing my husband bought at Best Buy because it was discounted because of the missing remote. So basically, this thing that they bought didn't have the remote. They went on eBay and bought one. Melanie said, the last items I bought on eBay were a replacement handle for an Amway Queen pot that was in a set to resell. It was missing the handle, and I figured the set would sell better if they all had their handles. The other two items were some CDs. Okay, so like club cookware, sometimes, well, what I've done is if it's just the lid that's for sale, you can sell just the lid, or you can even take it apart and sell just the handle. People are looking for those so they can complete a set and then sell that whole set. So I know that sounds kind of crazy, but if you've got broken stuff, list it because you don't know what somebody's looking for and what reason they want it. Somebody on this thread, I couldn't find it, I think it was buried at the bottom, bought shoelaces for some shoes. It was a specific kind of shoe, and they bought just the shoelaces on eBay so then they could put them on the shoes and sell the shoes and get a higher price. So if you have it, list it. Natalie said she bought a goblet to complete a set I found at a thrift store. Bought it then because if I didn't, I wouldn't have it when I needed it to use them. Cheaper than replacements, and they are no longer being made. Jamie said, I bought a trailer hitch with a tow package, less than $200, and hubby did the labor opposed to paying $450 for parts and labor at the store. And I asked, why now? Are you going on a trip? And she said, I just bought the van, and our old van had a hitch because we have a little trailer. We use our trailer a lot, so we needed a hitch put on. So just an extra part. So the takeaway here is if you've got things listed that are parts and accessories, the thing that it's going to be used for hasn't broken yet. Nobody needs it yet, but they will. Okay, the 11th theme was people needed an item to complete a project. Dayla said sewing patterns because I needed it. Tina said she purchased, looks like car parts to surprise my hubby with parts he needed because he likes to build lowrider cars. He's almost done with the car. So car parts so he could finish his project. Cecilia said she bought a soldering iron. I wanted to make some jewelry and the best price was on eBay. Judith bought some silk paper for a textile project. Kathy bought some assorted Christmas decor to reuse my Christmas wreath instead of buying a new expensive one. And then Melanie said the last thing I bought was a small mortar and pestle. My little doggo, Ruby, is getting up in years and having trouble chewing her kibble. Changing her food hurts her tummy and makes her sick, so I'm going to attempt to make a pate out of her current food. So I would consider that a project, figuring out a way to make that food so her dog can eat it. And then Tina said she bought a lot of vintage rug making yarn and lots of embroidery floss because she is going to do some rug hooking, but as a beginner, I wanted some rug yarn to use for practice projects. So whether it's a craft project, working on cars, automobiles, motorcycles, whatever, I've been in this situation many times myself where it's like I'm doing a project. Back in my days when I did cross stitch and made the Bucilla stockings and all of that, and you'd run out of sequins and you'd run out of thread, and you just go to the store and get some more. So, whatever it is that you're selling that is a supply or a part, whoever needs it just doesn't need it yet, and they don't know they need it. Okay, the 12th thing I saw was the item is not available anywhere else, it's hard to find, and eBay is a last resort. Diana said, I bought a DVD for our collection because it wasn't available in Canada yet, and it was in the US. So if you're not shipping internationally, you're missing out on people like that because a lot of times other countries are behind the US and we get things first. And if you don't ship to them, you're going to miss out on those sales. Natasha said she bought a 12-piece set of Dora the Explorer figurines that I used as cake toppers. So she couldn't find them anywhere else. Okay. Darlene bought dry erase Crayola set as a gift for my two grandchildren. Purchased on eBay because it's a hot item and stores were sold out on Black Friday. The regular price was more than double what I paid on eBay. So whoever had that thing on eBay didn't know that it was in demand, and they probably could have made more money, but she found a deal. So that's why a lot of people come to eBay. Diane bought two pillowcases. They are the Pottery Barn Teen MLB pattern, an older design, and my son wanted them to match the sheet set. So hard to find, probably discontinued item not being made anymore. Look on eBay. Vicky said the last thing I bought was Mary Kay foundation because it is discontinued. Allie bought something for my mom for a Christmas present because it is discontinued and I couldn't find it anywhere. And then she couldn't say what it was because her mom is in this group. Cynthia bought a Country Living November 2019 magazine because my neighbor's house was featured in it and I couldn't find the magazine anywhere. Deanna bought two Champion cropped hoodie sweatshirts for her daughter for Christmas because they are sold out everywhere. And Tina bought canine dewormer. They are sold out on many vet sites. Okay, and then Maureen said she bought some vintage Pyrex amber cookware. My girlfriend just remodeled her kitchen and loves to use these, but hers were old. The seller had two new in the box from the 80s. I think everybody had those in the 80s. That was kind of fun watching your food cook in those glass pots on top of the stove. Okay, and then Layla bought a pair of Vionic flats. They are discontinued on QVC, and eBay was the only place I could find them. I asked her why now, and she said needed this particular style for a part-time job, had them several years ago and got rid of them, decided I want this shoe again. So this was like a double whammy on that one because it was something that was hard to find, but also needed it for her job. So the takeaway on this one is some people don't realize that to go to eBay first, and it takes them a while to look for something, and they go look at stores locally and they look online and they don't even think about looking on eBay. So we got to wait for them to figure that out. It's like, yeah, people are going to realize that if they want this discontinued thing, they're going to have to come to eBay because that's the only place you're going to find it. Okay, the 13th reason, there's only a few more after this, so hang in there with me, is health, beauty, self-care, indulgence, or just wanted it. Amy said she bought an antique craftsman cigar box and jewelry box just because. And I said, perfect reason. Just wanted it for myself. Question, why did you buy it at that time? And Amy said it was a dopamine boost while taking a time out from a house full of family at Thanksgiving. So she did a little online shopping therapy to deal with her relatives that were very close by, I guess she's saying. So, shopping therapy. Kathy said, I wanted to try a new wearable device. I bought a Thim sleep tracker for 25% off retail. And Jennifer said, I bought a cookbook from the 50s. I'm just into vintage stuff. Yolanda bought herself an Orvis linen top. I am short-waisted, large, petite, and have trouble finding clothes that fit my torso the way I like. I found an Orvis top at the thrift store, and I like it so much I looked on eBay for another one. So the preceding event was she was thrifting, she saw this thing she liked, oh, I want that, go on eBay and bought one for herself. Lisa, the last item I bought was a Zen pen. It's similar to a TENS machine, helps with headaches, muscle pain, and I use it on my pressure points on the bottom of the feet. It was worth the $14. So she's got some aches and pains and she was looking for a way to feel better, so went on eBay and bought that. So the takeaway on that one is the person who wants your item just because hasn't realized it yet or hasn't taken action yet. Okay, the 14th reason was it is cheaper or the best price on eBay. We've already seen some of that, and I think that's what people thought I was looking for with this question, was all about the price, but it's more about the timing. Charlotte said yesterday she bought new Allbirds shoes. They were half price of what was selling on their website. Lisa, the last item I bought was a CD on my husband's Christmas list. I found it on eBay, new with free shipping, cheaper than anywhere else. Mallory, the last thing I bought was the entire Perricone MD skincare system because $100 for all of it is far better than $150 for just the moisturizer. I also bought my son a pair of Levi jeans because he's outgrowing his clothes. So she's got two things going on there. Something was cheaper and needed to replenish something that didn't fit anymore. Stephanie bought a Disney Doorables Mega Stack playset because my kiddo wants it for Christmas. Target isn't carrying it anymore. An eBay seller listed it cheaper than all the third-party Amazon sellers. So while we may be hearing all this hype about Amazon, things are still sometimes a better deal on eBay. Then we've got Carla who said, typically everything I buy on eBay is because I can't find it or it's a wanted item for my niece who has special needs. And I asked if that included clothing, and she said sometimes. She's 21, very small for her age, can wear girls large, but she likes Blues Clues and the Wiggles. I can usually find anything she wants that's not popular for her, if that makes sense. So what she's saying is this girl likes things that are maybe vintage toys, vintage themes, and they're hard to find. And she said her Christmas present last year from eBay was a musical Winnie the Pooh wind up jewelry box. So again, looking to eBay because can't find these items other places. So the takeaway on that one is the person shopping for your item hasn't realized it's the best price on eBay yet. They'll figure it out, hopefully. And then the last reason that nobody posted, but I actually have heard buyers say this to me, is I had to wait until I have the money. All these folks that accept our offers or make best offers and we accept them and they don't want to pay for 3 days because they're waiting for their money. So that is definitely going to impact the timing of when your item sells and or when the buyer actually pays for it. So if you're seeing a lot more sales on Fridays than other days or Thursdays, because companies get paid usually like Thursdays or Fridays, that might be why, is they're waiting to get paid so they can pay you. So the takeaway on that one is the person who wants to buy your item doesn't have the money yet. So you just have to keep reminding yourself of these different reasons that you're getting views, you've got watchers, but people aren't taking action for very specific reasons, or they don't even know they need something yet, or it's not time for something yet. So this is a timing thing, and the timing is out of our control. We can't make people buy stuff. We have to wait until they're ready. And when they're ready, they'll find us and they'll find our optimized listings and our nice photos and our great customer service, and they will buy the item.
Okay, so I hope that has helped you understand why buyers make these decisions. So the next time you feel like your sales are slow or you haven't sold something in a couple of days and you're getting frustrated, just remind yourself of these reasons. The buyer's not ready yet. Whatever that thing is that needs to happen for them to need this item or look for this item or shop for this item just hasn't happened yet, and it will. And have faith in the system. It works. I'm living proof of that. Go look at my eBay store. It's been there since 2003, and I've been selling every single day. And I have dry spells just like you. So I hope this helps you, and I would love your comments below. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.